So welcome to this edition of M Cubed, or My Class Maths Matters, and this one is dedicated to working with grouped data.
Okay, next we're going to talk about group data, right? So what I've got here is I've got some actual data, and what I've done just to illustrate the point is that I've actually there's the actual data, right? And we can actually work out for this actual data, we can work out if we type in these actual numbers, we actually get a mean of 39.03. Sometimes we're not given the actual data. We're just given the group's data. So what we've got here is we've got the fact that 9 people achieved marks between 20 and 30 out of 60. 6 people achieved marks between 30 and 40. 7 people achieved marks between 40 and 50. And 8 people achieved marks between 50 and 60. Now we are asked to estimate the mean of this data, right? And what we do is we assume that these 9 people who achieved marks between 20 and 30, we assume that they averaged out at the midpoint. So in other words, we say 9 people got a mark of 25, right? We could be quite far out in our actual calculation, but as we'll see, it's actually not too bad an estimate, right? Likewise, these 6 people, we assume that they achieved on average the middle point of the interval. So we get all the midpoints of the intervals, and now we're going to go to our calculator, all right, and we're going to work these out. I just want to show you how to put your calculator into frequency mode, because it's really useful to be able to do that. All right, so what one does, one goes shift mode, down arrow, 4, and then make sure that frequency is turned on. Right, now when I go into mode stat, and I'm still talking about one variable statistics here, so 1, notice I've got a frequency button. So the midpoint was 25, the next midpoint was 35, the next midpoint was 45, and the last midpoint was 55. And now I go up and I put in the frequency. 9 people, 6 people, 7 people, 8 people, right? I'm going to press all clear, and I'm going to go shift stat, and I'm going to go 4 for variables. And first up, let's just check the number of data items. If I press 1, you'll see that, okay, something's gone wrong here. 9 and 6 is 15. I should have got 30 data items. I've obviously made a mistake with the data. I'm going to go shift stat and actually look at the data that I put in. Yeah, indeed, I pressed an 8 rather than a 9. Okay, so that was a useful little check. Okay, so if I go shift stat 4 for the variables and I go 1, I get 30 data items, which is what I was hoping for. Shift stat 4, I can now also get the mean or the standard deviation, but those will be estimates. And the reason they're estimates is that we're not working with the original data, we're working with this assumption that they averaged the midpoints. So I'm going to go with the mean now, and then we'll notice that I get an answer of 39.67 compared with the actual answer of 39.03. Right, so this is an estimate as opposed to the actual answer. Right, here, just to finish off on this, we see why, in fact, we see how our formula is working here. So it's the frequency times the value, so 9 times 25 plus 6 times 35 plus 7 times 45 plus 8 times 55, all divided by n, and we get our answer.